darkness, I called your name. Into darkness, your mercy came. You called me out, lifted me up. How great is your love? You bore my weakness, you took my shame, buried my burdens in fields of grace. You called me out, lifted me up. How great is your love? From the heights of heaven, you stepped down to earth. Innocent perfection, gave your life for us, and we are amazed, and we stand in awe, for we have been changed by the power of the cross. How great, how great, how great is your love? How great, how great, how great is your love? How great, how great, how great is your love for us? And in your kindness, you lead me home. In your presence, where I belong. Oh, you called me out, you lifted me up. How great is your love? From the heights of heaven, you stepped down to earth. Innocent perfection, you gave your life for us, and we are amazed. Yes, we stand in awe, for we have been changed by the power of the cross. How great, how great, how great is your love? How great, how great, how great
guys, incredible performance of the song. Thanks so much for sharing it.
Yeah.
We were just talking about, Christian, I've heard 3 different people on the team lead this song.
Yeah.
And it's such an accessible song for people to sing. And, you know, it could be a female-led. You know, Melody, I've heard you lead it, and it's been amazing.
Yep.
And then, Christian, of course, you led it at conference.
Yep.
But talk about this song. I know you guys wrote this with Phil Wickham.
Yes.
Great writer. But just talk about the song and really what a powerful statement this was. I feel like this was like, when we sang this in the Dome with all the students there, I mean, it was a moment where it was just, it kind of brought you to tears. You know, just
that
singing
second
about the love
night
of
after
God.
Louis' talk, it was just amazing.
Yeah. But talk about it, because I know you guys worked on it together.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just saying this, but, you know, really want to just say that, you know, Phil Wickham brought the lion's share of this song and really had a lot of it, the bones of it were there. And I just remember the first time he played it for us, we were here at the church, and we were like, oh, we're like, that'll work. You know? Right. We got through the first verse and pre-chorus, and I was already like, oh my word, this is
it's so good.
So it was just a really special song, you know, and you know, for us, when we're working on songs for conference, or when we're kind of gathering songs for conference, we always want to sing about the cross, because worship emanates out from the cross. That's where worship begins, and that really is where you see the great love of God on display. And so this song really, you know, and I will say, just talking about Louis' talk, Louis knew what he was going to talk about on that second night. And so this song, it's just so crazy and cool how God does this, but we had written this song early in the year.
Like in the summertime.
Oh, wow. Louis starts crafting his talk for night 2 in November, December, and these 2 ideas were just perfectly merged together. And so it was a really, really, really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, it's just... I think, you know, when we talk about what we're singing about, like you're saying, like the cross is this beautiful expression of the love of God. You know, that's what's in the conversation. Love is so much in the conversation all around us, you know, in culture and society, and everyone's asking, like, what does love look like? And, you know, for us who've seen Jesus, we see the most brilliant, amazing expression of love, where the Son of God would sacrifice himself to die for our sins. And we just can't sing about that enough. You know, Paul writes about it. He says, you know, there's nothing, not height or depth or life nor death, that even can separate us from the love of God. It's what holds us. It's what anchors us in this life. And so, you know, I think we felt that and we saw that as we've been singing this at Passion, and we've been singing at our church. And, you know, it's such a simple phrase to sing, you know, to sing, how great is your love for us. But I think the more you sing that, the more that your heart begins to believe that. Yeah. And that's what we need. You know, we need to believe that we are loved sons and daughters of God. And that, it really changes our life. It helps us. It leads us forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, it's just a simple, it's such a simple truth, but yet it's probably, especially, I mean, I think for any of us, not just young people, but you know, it's the thing we really wrestle with and struggle with sometimes the most.
Totally.
You know, if you ask any Christian on a given day, how do you think God feels about me on a scale of 1 to 10? I mean, most of us wouldn't say a 10. And so it's that, it is a concept that we have to preach to ourselves and to our hearts almost daily, and just remind ourselves, because the lie is out there that, you know, God doesn't love you this much all the time. Or his love wavers and changes.
Yeah, and I do love too just how definitive the bridge of this song is. I think that's one of my favorite things. Just to say, there has never been and there will never be a God like you, or a love so true. And just really in that, just to feel like, man, the search is over. Like we found the one that we were made to love, the one we were made for. And then the release of that chorus. I know it moves me, you know, to worship. I love leading the song, because I get lost in it, you know. And I know when I sing it, I want to receive it, you know, and so it's beautiful. Yeah.
Well, walk us through just the chords you guys are playing. Christian, you're capoed 1.
Well, I'm key of C, so I'm tuned down a half step, so the song is in C, so I'll play in C. There's just a couple different progressions here. The verse would start on the 1. You called my name, and to the 5. Your mercy came, and to the 4. 6. How great is your love. 5. So that's the verse. And the pre-chorus is the same progression. It just all does the same thing, kind of wraps in a circle. And then the chorus starts on the 1.
How great is
And the 5.
how great, how great, how great is your love.
And the 6 here.
How great, how great is your love for me.
Ends on the 4. So the two progressions are very similar. It's just a little bit different. And then the bridge starts on the 6.
There's never been
Into the 4. Into the 1.
a God like you,
5.
a love so true.
And just repeats that. And then goes back into the chorus.
And because it's one of those kind of octave songs, I mean, if you're, if you don't have a huge range vocally or whatever, I mean, it's a good chance to get like your female singers and your guy singers to kind of jump in together.
Yeah.
And maybe the girls take the higher part when it jumps, or figuring it
Yeah.
out that way. It's just sometimes easier for churches.
Totally.
Yeah.
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 Well, guys, thanks so much for sharing the song with us.
Absolutely.
Really amazing.
Thanks, Jimmy.